channel. Is there anything that you want to say to anybody who's suffering for weeks, months, or decades, and you've suffered for more than 4 decades, more than 40 years with those terrible migraines? Is there anything that you want to tell anybody besides what we've already shared?
Yes, I wish that someone could have told me earlier that I could get ease from these headaches forever. I didn't have anyone to tell me that. No, they kept saying that the doctors I would go to, they would keep prescribing different. I had migraine pills and headache, all kind of pills, and I wish that someone could have told me earlier, and I wish I could have seen Dr. Herman earlier, because he promised me to get rid of the headaches, and he didn't. So I just want to tell you, if you're suffering with migraine headaches, see Dr. Herman. He can help you.
I'm just going to say to people here, if you have a migraine headache that you've suffered from for many years, you deserve to listen to this video right now, because we're going to hear from a woman, Miss Dixon, who came to my clinic from Honduras, who is doing amazing for a bit more than a year now with complete 100% resolve of her migraine headaches that you suffer from for decades already. So, Ms. Dixon, good morning, and thank you for being on this discussion with me. And we're going to help a lot of people realize that there is a way to get out of their headache pain, their migraine. I shouldn't even call it headache, a migraine pain. So if we could start off by going backwards in time. Well, first of all, how long ago did your serious headache or migraine pain in your head stop? When was the last time you actually had one of those?
I don't remember exactly the date or the month, but it's been over a year.
Mm-hmm. And you've had 0 headaches and 0 migraine type headaches for a year, at the very least a year. Okay.
0 migraine.
And you've been in the past, and let's just cover about the present right now, and then we'll go back in time. Well, first of all, your migraines were on a scale of 0 to 10, if 10 is the most severe pain you could ever imagine in your head. How severe was your head pain, migraine pain?
10.
A 10.
10.
And
I had them so bad that I just could not function.
Mm-hmm. And were those terrible severity of 10 head pains, and we can call them migraines. Can I just call it a migraine? Is that what you would categorize it as?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And those were every day of your life?
Well, I would have them for weeks, and then sometime I'll get it ease up for about a week or 2, and they would be back on again.
Okay, and the ease up, was it a complete 0 migraine pain for a week or 2, or was it still somewhat there?
Still somewhat there.
Somewhat there. So for the easing up period of time for that week or 2 between the really incredibly severe level of 10 severe migraine pain to an easing up, how on a scale of 0 to 10, again, when the easing up periods of a week or 2 of it being less severe, what number could you give it of the intensity of the pain at that time?
Well, it would be like a 3 or a 4, or 5 or 6 maybe at times.
Okay. And with these migraines, and they were day and night, is that correct?
Day and night.
Did they wake you up from sleep?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And that's been and so let's say, how many years have you suffered? I think if I remember you telling me, it was ever since your teen years.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Sure.
I'm sorry.
From a teenager, I had migraines.
So we're talking for at very least 40 years of your life, you've been dealing with this.
Yes.
At the very least. And when you, one of your other symptoms with your terrible migraine pain was the light sensitivity, right?
The lights, yes. Mm-hmm.
And so you were wearing, if you could tell people, what did you have to do to deal with that terrible light sensitivity?
Use my dark glasses sometimes day and night, depending if I went into a place that was lighted with kind of bright light, and I had to wear my dark glasses.
Mm-hmm. And so, because I know with meeting you the first time, and even for a few years after we started working together to unravel this, the hidden disease-causing infections and toxins that I always talk about, to get rid of those from your body's tissues, including your brain and including blood vessels in the brain, which I'll elaborate in another video that I'll make privately after we're done with this call. But you were wearing those sunglasses when you walked indoors into any restaurant, into any office, into any shopping store, as well as in anywhere outdoors. So it was indoors and outdoors. You always had those sunglasses, very dark sunglasses on.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did you have other sensitivities? I don't remember. Were there any sound sensitivities or smell sensitivities? Was there anything else?
Oh yeah, sound. I I couldn't be in places where it was a loud noises, because it just bothered me a lot.
Mm-hmm. And now we're here, which is July 15th of 2019. So for, at the very least, it's right, it's been maybe even a little more than a year. You've had zero head pain.
Zero. Yes.
Zero. So there's not even just the easing up, as you called it before. You've had zero. It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
And there's, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't have migraines anymore, and I thought I would never get rid of those.
Yeah. How beautiful it is to say that, huh?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So your migraine pain, were you seeing, before you came to me, were you seeing other doctors of various types of doctors over the few decades that you suffered these migraines?
Oh yes, I've been seeing doctors from my teen years because of the headaches.
Mm-hmm.
I would get a little relief when I would become pregnant. I had 4 children, and in the 9 months I was pregnant, they would kind of ease up after being like in the 3rd or 4th month, and then after I had my babies, until they were about a year, then they would come back on again, and it was severe. Yes.
And what kind of doctors were you seeing for all of these years that you suffered these migraines?
Well, I would see doctors, neuro that deal with nerve problems,
Mm-hmm.
and they would give me shots, injections. They would give me a lot of medication. So I even got stomach ulcers. At one point, I had 4 ulcers in my stomach.
Wow.
Besides gastritis, because of all the medication I was taking.
Wow.
Now I don't have no problem with my stomach, no ulcers, no gastritis, because I'm not taking all that medication. I was diagnosed with MS about 8 years ago, or just before I came to you, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
I was taking a lot of medication, and that was killing me, the medication I was taking. After I came to you the first time, I asked you if I should take the medication anymore, and you told me, I can't tell you not to take it because another doctor prescribed it, but I can tell you what a patient told me. So with that, I decided I'm not going to take the medication anymore, and what medication I had, I threw it in the garbage, and I have not been taking all the medication that I was taking for inflammation, for pain, and I don't even take pressure pills every day. I monitor my pressure morning and evening, and when I see a need, I take my pressure pill. And a lot of doctors said you're supposed to take them once you start taking pressure pill, take them every day. But I thought that it worked for me better like this. I'd monitor my pressure morning and night, and if I need, I take it. And that's the only time I have a little slight headache, if my pressure goes up a little, but it's nothing like a migraine. It's no migraine, it's just from the pressure. But I monitor that, so I don't have that problem, but I'm not taking no pressure pills on a regular basis. I'm not taking no medication on a regular basis.
And the other meds that let me just make one point, because whenever I do get to see you again in person for an exam, if so, when you come back to the US, I'll tell you that the the cause of that high blood pressure can actually be reduced. So the more that I keep doing my work, the better that I'm getting, and the more of these results that I see. And I've seen many people actually their blood pressure comes down to normal, and they haven't need to take that medication anymore. So there are various parts of the body that, we can discuss it another time, but there's various parts of the body that actually, when they're infected and or chemicals get into these, whether it's mercury or some other kind of chemical, that they can cause these tissues to become inflamed and makes the blood pressure go up. And so when we can get rid of those, like what we've done for your migraine pain, when we can get rid of those hidden disease-causing chemicals and infections that are related to the cardiovascular, to the high blood pressure, that'll come down, and you won't even have to deal with that anymore. Going back into your teens when the migraines first started, were they as severe when you were a teenager as opposed to what they were, let's say, 10 years ago or 20 years ago? Did they get worse over time, or was it always the same intensity?
I think they got worse. I think they got worse. Maybe because of, when you become an adult, you have kids, and it's other problems. You have to worry about them, so you have stress, more stress. But they definitely got worse as I got older. And
one more time, back to the medications. When you got off of all those meds for the MS and for the inflammation and for the headaches or whatever it was that they were prescribing those meds for, when you got off of them, was it also because you noticed that they were, as part, causing the gastritis and the ulcers, but was it also that you noticed there was no physical symptom change or symptom reduction in those migraines with those meds, or did they decrease it somewhat, yet it was always there bothering you, and then you just decided, let me stop it?
Yeah, it was always bothering me. It didn't take them completely away. All those meds I was taking did not take the migraines completely away. I would take them, and sometimes I would think, why am I even taking any? Because it doesn't take it away at all anyway. So,
Yeah. When you realized that the meds that the doctors were prescribing weren't taking away the pain at all, and you wanted to stop taking them, did you ever ask those doctors who prescribed those medications why the medication wasn't working, or did you ever ask them, like, what could be causing the terrible head pain and the terrible light and sound sensitivity, and if they could actually figure it out for you? Was there ever any discussion with any of those doctors about those topics?
Well, I don't remember exactly what the discussion was, but I know that I would ask them, what I could do to get rid of this, and they said, well, you take. They would tell me they would just fill me up with a lot of meds, just give me more and more.
Yeah, and when we first met, which was 8 years ago, back in 2011. And I'll say this, that it shouldn't take 8 years to get rid of somebody's migraines anymore, because I've had, fortunately, unfortunately, at the same time, I've had time to be able to figure it out, because each individual is different. And, if I know what I know now, if I knew it then in 2011, it may have been a much shorter journey for us to get to this point with you, where there's 0 migraines for you. But with, when you first met me, you told me, you asked if I could do something, basically, and I'm sure you remember the exact words you were telling me when we first set up for this discussion. If I could help you get rid of your migraines. And what was that? Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that very well, because I had a terrible headache that day. I felt like I couldn't even open my eyes. It was just terrible. And when I walked into your office, you asked me what I was coming expecting, and I told you, I said, well, I was hoping that you could ease this terrible headache that I have. And you told me you can see that I have a headache, but you could not do anything for me for that day because you don't give drugs, and that would be the only way that I could get rid of it right away. But if I stayed with you, you would get me off of them for good. And I thought, well, that's great. So I stayed with you, and you got me off them.
Yeah. And here we are. And you have regular eyeglasses on, which is just prescription lenses, so you don't need those dark lenses anymore. And I saw pictures of you as you posted on your Facebook that you traveled around the world You went to
Yeah.
different countries and you're taking pictures outside, and you've got regular glasses on, no sunglasses, out in the sun with your family, with friends, and it was amazing to see that.
Yeah, sometimes I put them on if the sun is real. Right now, this time of the year, the sun here is real bright on the island. So sometimes I go, if I'm going to the west in the evening driving down there with that sun, I'll put the sunglasses on. But most of the time, like today, I don't.
But that's only because it's so bright that it can actually hurt our eyes, in the sense that it's
Yeah,
too bright. Why not put a dimmer on? But it's not the same light sensitivity that actually
no,
made the head and the brain hurt before.
no,
That's
no, no.
it's just, the light's too bright, so of course put dimmers on. But that's different than what you had before. So it's so
Yeah,
beautiful. I'm so happy we've done this work together, and to see you on the other side, it's wonderful. It's just great. Yeah, and I'm going to get into, with your permission, I won't share exact certain, lab findings or so on, but I'm going to make another video about your recovery, about the journey that we went through together with different kinds of exam findings, from the other unique exam that I do, to create these remedies for you, the drops that you've taken that have gotten rid of these different infections, if that's okay with you. I don't think it's too personal there.
okay.
Yeah, okay, good. Is there anything that you want to tell anybody who's watching this video now when I put this up on my YouTube channel? Is there anything that you want to say to anybody who's suffering for weeks, months, or decades, and you've suffered for more than 4 decades, more than 40 years with those terrible migraines? Is there anything that you want to tell anybody besides what
Well,
we've already shared?
yes, I wish that someone could have told me earlier that I could get ease from these headaches forever. I didn't have anyone to tell me that. No, they kept saying with the doctors I would go to, they would keep prescribing different. I had migraine pills and headache, all kind of pills, and I wish that someone could have told me earlier, and I wish I could have seen Dr. Herman earlier, because he promised me to get rid of the headaches, and he did. So I just want to tell you, if you're suffering with migraine headaches, see Dr. Herman. He can help you.
Thank you. I'm sure your husband's pretty happy to see you without these migraines too.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
oh yes, he is.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, well, I thank you for getting on this discussion call with me. I know we've tried to arrange this for a little while, and I'm glad that we finally made the time together today to do this. And I'm sure that for the millions of people out there who do get to see this video of you describing how much better you are, that they're going to start to think in a different way, and they can actually now find me and I can help them. And that I'm determined, and I believe I can, for all those people out there. So I really appreciate you sharing this, because there are millions of lives who need help, and there are millions of lives who can be saved. There are some people, actually, I've heard and read reports of people who've taken their lives because the pain was so terrible that no doctor, for all the brilliant doctors and all the MRIs and all the CAT scans and blood tests and all the neurological examinations that people have had done, where the pain is so intense, it's so severe, and they can't get out of it, that it's been an unfortunate, short life for some people. So
Yes.
it's going to help save some lives with this.
I also took a lot of MRIs.
Mm-hmm.
All kind of examinations I have done. It's so incredible that now I feel like I'm younger, not older. I was suffering with this for so long and thought I would never ever get ease from these headaches. And the thing is, it's not only the medication that you take for the headaches. It does so much. The medication has so much side effects that they do so many. They causes other effects in your body. And I was gaining weight, and I was doing all kind of things, and it was just terrible. So I am so happy that I'm over those migraines, and thank you, Dr. Herman, so much from the bottom of my heart.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you.